Hi, I'm Leilah Devi here at beautiful Purple Valley Yoga Retreat in Goa, India. This video is about the basic posture for seated meditation. Mostly we'll talk about a cross-legged seated posture, but there's also an option to sit in a chair if sitting cross-legged isn't comfortable for you. So if you sit in a chair, find an upright, straight-back chair in which you can sit on a flat, horizontal surface with your feet flat on the floor and the legs with the knees bent at 90 degrees, straight in front of the hips. And all of the other conditions for the seated cross-legged posture will apply. So the basic posture for seated meditation is a simple cross-legged posture, Sukhasana, in which each foot or ankle supports beneath the opposite knee or thigh. And then we start at the bottom. The basic instruction is sit down and sit up. So there's a sort of weight or heaviness in the pelvis and the hips, and both sit bones are equally grounded. We want to have a neutral or perhaps a very slight anterior or forward tilt to the pelvis to enable this vertebrae to stack along their natural curves. So it's common to prop one's hips up on maybe a neatly folded blanket or even higher on a bolster or some pillows so that you can have an anterior or forward tilt to the pelvis. If you find that you have a posterior or backward tilt to the pelvis, you can end up kind of slumping, which is not helping with the meditation practice. So even if you need to use several pillows, sit with your sit bones equally grounded on the pillows so that your hips are more or less on a level or maybe even slightly above your knees. So this helps take some of the stress out of the knee. If you find that there's discomfort in the knees, you can also prop your knee, one or both, up on a pillow. And if need be during the practice, if you need to move, you can always deliberately and slowly change your position to assist with the knee comfort and then maintain the new position. But for the cross-legged posture, sit down and sit up. So there's a grounding equally through both sitting bones and then stacking the vertebrae in a lifted and almost vertical line. So the spine is never vertical, but if we think about a line drawn from maybe the center of the pelvic floor up through the crown of the head, this vertical central axis of the body, and then there's a lifting all along the vertebrae and from the heart center or sternum. Before you start your practice, you can establish the posture and relax the shoulders, so rolling the shoulders forward, up, back, and down so that the shoulder blades just rest down the back, along the back of the rib cage. And then the position of the hands is not necessarily forward on the knees, but rather just allowing the upper arm bones to hang straight down with gravity from the shoulders. And then the hands rest palm down where they may, so generally on the thighs. So we're not discussing any sort of meditation mudra here, just the basic posture with the palms resting where they fall. So we're lifting up through the spine, and then we have the head. So there's a drawing up from the crown of the head, but you want to be careful that that drawing up doesn't cause you to tilt your head back so that you're lifting the chin. Nor do we want to tuck the chin, but rather have the jaw somewhat parallel to the floor. So if you think about drawing up from the occipital bones at the back of the skull, or even from a lifting from the back of the skull, that helps ensure that the back of the neck is long and we're not tilting the head either forward or back. So just straight. And then the jaw itself is relaxed and almost open within the closed mouth. Just relaxing the muscles of the jaw, and you can touch the tip of your tongue to the roof of your mouth. And the muscles of the face relax. The eyes have a soft and steady gaze, so not a drishti so much where we're gazing and focusing on a particular point, but more a soft, unfocused gaze into the middle distance. Oftentimes people gaze straight ahead during meditation, or you might prefer to partially close your eyelids and shift the gaze a bit forward and down. Again, you don't want to focus necessarily on a particular point and start naming that the objects that you see, rather just maintaining a steady eye position and a soft, unfocused gaze. Sometimes people close their eyes during meditation practice, although this can also lead to wandering off in a daydream or even falling asleep, thereby avoiding the actual practice of concentration. So, recommended either gazing straight ahead or slightly with the eyelids closed and the eyes cast down. So again, just starting from the bottom up, the legs are crossed with each foot supporting the opposite knee or under the thigh. A vertical self-supporting spine, so stacking the vertebrae along their natural curve, neutral pelvis or maybe even slight forward tilt to the pelvis so that you can lift up through the length of the spine, drawing up from the crown of the head and from the occipital bone, so a slight downward tilt to the chin. The shoulders roll back and rest back. The upper arms just fall with gravity and the hands rest palms down where they may. The jaw is relaxed. The tongue touches the roof of the mouth. And that's it. Enjoy your practice. Namaste.